Hello and welcome to the St. Joe's Media 2022 NFL Mock Draft. I'm joined by Andrew, Jake, and Braden here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going each pick 1 through 4. Jake's going to start us off. We're going to have Andrew going 2. It'll be Braden going 3, and me at 4. We're going to give you some of our insight and who we would pick with each of those picks. So starting us off, Jake, you got the Jaguars. Who you taking?
So I got Jayvon Walker, an edge rusher from Georgia, and the GM really likes Walker, and I can't blame him. He's a physical specimen who has talent that can't be taught. He has the ability to quick shed pass rushers, and he plays near his gaps and can see an increase in production if allowed to play in the scheme. That asks more of him. And you pair him with Josh Allen, that's a double-edged sword right there at the edge rushing pass.
Yeah, he's definitely been one of the most polarizing players in this draft lately, quickly rising up the odds to be the number 1 pick. So next up, we're going to have Andrew at number 2 with the Detroit Lions.
All right, so I'm going to take Aiden Hutchinson. He's one of the top defensive players in this draft, and the Lions have had a couple rough years. So I think he's really just a big tough player. He's got great athletics, and they just need a defensive leader, and he definitely fits Dan Campbell's system. He's extremely tough. He's going to go out there and fight for the ball. So
yeah, Hutchinson is going to stay at home too, going to the Lions, Michigan. Staying in Detroit, that'll be an awesome fit for Detroit. So, Tank, we're going to go over to you for the Houston Texans pick at number 3.
So for the Texans, I'm going to go with Ikem Ekwonu, the tackle out of North Carolina State. I was stuck between him and Kayvon Thibodeaux. But I think if the Texans are planning on keeping Mills for the future, you want to protect him. Or next year's draft, maybe they have another high pick, they could take a QB. You want to protect him. Ekwonu is very versatile on the line, great length. And he's just very good for probably one of the best tackles in this draft class.
The Texans are really a team in this draft who really should just take whoever they think is best available. And same goes for my team up next, the Jets, who I have taken Kayvon Thibodeaux. Like I said, the Jets are just a team that needs to get whoever's the best on the board. Mr. Herring agrees with me. Thibodeaux is by far the best player on the board, in my opinion. I think he's the most explosive edge in this class. He's got the best bend at the edge position. He's also an athletic freak. Also has great production, even though his actual form aren't fine. He's been producing year after year at Oregon. And just a quick comp I have for him, I think Robert Quinn or maybe a very raw Miles Garrett are some good comps for Kayvon Thibodeaux at the next level. So going on to number 5, we have the Giants. Jake, what are you taking with that?
I'm taking Evan Neal, an offensive tackle from Alabama. And this is an absolute dream scenario for the Giants. The Giants protect Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. They had one of the worst offensive lines in the whole league last year. And Neal is arguably the best O-lineman in this year's draft. And they pair Evan Neal with Andrew Thomas and solidify the offensive line. Getting rid of Nate Solder was an open door. A great pick for the Giants.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Definitely Daniel Jones for one more year. So going on to number 6, with the Panthers, Andrew, who you got taking?
Okay, so I have him taking Kenny Pickett, obviously, quarterback from Pitt. And I think this is really just, a no-brainer. This is like the perfect situation, right? The Panthers need a QB. He'd definitely be a great match for McCaffrey and DJ Moore. And I think he really just brings that leader that they're really missing right now. And yeah.
I guess I agree too much honestly with that pick, but I respect that. I can see where you're coming from. Definitely being a quarterback, most valuable position on the field. So going to number 7, Tank, who you got the Giants taking?
So I got the Giants taking cornerback Ahmad Garner, or Sauce Garner, as you call him, out of Cincinnati. This guy didn't allow 1 touchdown his whole college career. Granted, he played a little bit down in competition, but still, great in the zone and man coverage, very athletic. He has great ball skills, great length. And new Giants defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, I think Garner fits the best in that system due to the fact that Martindale likes to pressure the QB very heavily, so Sauce can stay in the backfield. And also the Giants have been looking to trade James Bradbury, plus he's aging, so I think taking Sauce here in this spot is very good for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm going to actually double down on the corner right here. I have the Falcons at number 8, going with Derek Stingley Jr. I know Tank just took Sauce at number 7, but in my opinion, Stingley is the best corner in this draft. The Falcons are team to really take the best player available. Not to mention the pairing of him and AJ Terrell would be a lethal corner duo in the NFL. Stingley is the best man corner in the draft. He's the best corner with the ball in the air. He has great speed for his size. He's a 90th percentile athlete at the corner position. And a comp for him at the next level, I think, will be Darius Slay, which is obviously an incredible pick. Our guy to have, pick number 8.
I would like to add on. I believe Stingley's the best corner, but his ankle issues.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's a risk that Atlanta will be willing to take, just trying to
Definitely.
leaps and bounds from last year, because they aren't getting much better anytime soon. So number 9, the Seahawks. Back to you, Jay.
I have Malik Willis, the QB from Liberty, going to the Seahawks. The Seahawks traded Russell Wilson to the Broncos. And his perfect replacement is Malik Willis, who has a cannon of an arm and is also a threat in the ground. I will admit, though, he's pretty raw in talent, but Pete Carroll can train his skill out of him.
Yeah, definitely going to be a replacement for Russell Wilson. I don't hate it there to Seattle. So on to number 10 with the Jets' second pick. Andrew, who do you have to take?
Maybe a little bit controversial, but I'm going to go with Jamison Williams from Alabama. They obviously need a threat to pair with Zach Wilson, and I think just given his crazy speed, they just need more talent on the team. And I think he's good there. I mean, on the issue about his tearing his ACL, I think he's got plenty of time to recover from that. And, obviously he wants to play, so I don't think it's going to be an issue at all.
Yeah, I think the best way to help Zach Wilson improve in that young offense is to give him as many weapons as possible. So number 11, we got the Commanders. Tech, who are you taking with them?
So for the Commanders, I got them taking Drake London, wide receiver out of USC at 11. Well, when London enters the league, he'll probably be up there for one of the biggest receivers. I mean, he's got really good size and frame. He's really good at the contested catch and catching the ball up in the air. And Carson Wentz, the new QB, he can make some questionable throws. So, I mean, having London going up there grabbing that could be helpful. And pairing him with Terry McLaurin would be great for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I'm sure Terry would love that too. We always complain about how he gets double teamed, but he's really the only weapon on that team.
Yeah,
so.
that'll make better opportunities for McLaurin also.
Getting London over there would certainly make life easier for him. So I'm up next with the Vikings pick, and for them, I have them taking Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. And the main reason I have them taking him is because Patrick Peterson really isn't getting any younger on that Vikings team. They have some good young corners, but it's just about 1 or 2 you're going to need to add on to that. I think McDuffie is the best zone corner in this draft, and the Vikings are known for a lot of zone. He has the best turnaround among all corners. He's a very versatile guy, too, obviously being incredible in zone. He can play a lot of safety. He can play outside and some in the slot. An incredible athlete, too. He's a 95 percentile athlete at the corner position. And comp for him, I'll have maybe a guy like Byron Murphy on the Cardinals. A guy like him, I think that's the type of impact he can make in the NFL. So number 13, go back over to Jake. Who do you have in Texas State?
I haven't taken Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame. Positional value aside, Hamilton's arguably the best player in the draft. He's a modern hybrid defender who can do whatever's asked of him. And for a Texans team that needs every single position, this is a great pick for them. To get the best, arguably the best player in the draft at pick 13, he's such a steal.
Yeah, I was really debating taking Hamilton with that pick number 12, but I think Hamilton at 13 is an incredible pick. So 14, we have your Ravens. Andrew, who are you going with?
So I'm going to go with Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa. I think obviously the Ravens just need to continue to boost their O-line. To help out Lamar, and then I think he's really big. He's physical. He really wants to really protect that ball, and I believe he did visit the Ravens facility, and he even said it was going to be the perfect fit for him. So I think it's a really good pick right there.
I'm going to add on. They really need to protect Lamar Jackson with the O-line because he's a running QB, and he got injured last year. And when he got injured, they didn't make playoffs. So I like this play that Trevor Penning yet.
Yeah, I think it's a risk. I think for the Ravens, they're trying to get right back to that elite team level. So I think it's a good risk I'm taking. So number 15, we got the Eagles. Tank, who going with?
All right, so I got the Eagles taking wide receiver Chris Olave out of Ohio State. Eagles need someone next to Devontae Smith. I mean, before they drafted Smith last year out of Alabama, they really had no one. And I mean, Olave's got great hands, great speed, great awareness. And we've got a guy like Jalen Reed on the team with not great hands, and a guy that used to be on the Eagles like Nelson Aguilar with not great hands. Eagles got to take someone with great hands. So I think pairing Smith and Olave is really good for the Eagles. And they'll be dangerous doing that.
I think it's definitely Jalen Hurts, too, helping him improve. I know there's been some turmoil there between Hurts and the Eagles front staff. Maybe they're going to Sean Watson, obviously not anymore, but definitely some loose ends they need to tie up. I think getting a weapon like Olave can certainly do that. So I'm up next with the Saints. I'm going to have them taking Charles Cross at number 16, the tackle out of Texas A&M. Cross, in my opinion, is actually the best pass protector in this class by far at tackle. I think he's also the safest tackle in the draft. He also has a lot of experience in the pass game. No O-lineman has had more pass blocking snaps than Charles Cross in the past 2 years in college. He's a decent run blocker, but again, not too much experience that as Mississippi State was a pass-first team, obviously. He would replace the Aiden James first, and would be an incredible parent alongside Ryan Blanchett on that Saints line. And a guy I'm on to is Jake Matthews, which I think is pretty fair. Both great pass protectors and get it done in the run game. So I got Charles Cross, 16 for the Saints. And then moving on to 17, we got Chargers, Jake Wilson.
I'm going with Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. And if this happens, the Chargers are ecstatic. His ability to generate separation is the best in his class. He averages 15 yards per catch with 1,058 touchdowns last year with 10 touchdowns. With that player on the team with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and Justin Herbert, easily a top 5 offense in the league.
Yeah, I definitely like that guy alongside Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. That would be a lethal trio there in LA. Also the best wide receiver trio.
Yeah. Especially Justin Herbert, really young too. Have them for a while together. Really dangerous offense.
Yeah, that's definitely a dangerous offense.
And you're going
to 18, we got Andrew with the Eagles.
So I'm going to go with Devin Lloyd here. This is more of a backup because I'm most likely expecting the Eagles to trade their 18th pick to the Packers for the 22nd pick and maybe a late third rounder. He's a leader, good defensive player, but given that the Eagles really do need a cornerback or a receiver, and a lot of those guys are taken right now, I think this is just more of a backup. But
yeah, I think they like Lloyd there too. I think he can get into that starter role, maybe battling training camp throughout the season. So I'll hang that there for Philly. So number 19, Tank, we got the Saints.
So I got another wide receiver off the board. I'm taking Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. Saints are in desperate need of a receiver. I mean, Michael Thomas, all good, but cannot stay on the field. He's the best receiver available in the spot right now since Williams, Olave, and Wilson are off the board. He has great size, great physicality, and really good breakaway speed for someone his size. And he has lots of comparisons with A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf. So a more physical receiver with good speed.
Yeah, A.J. Brown's definitely a guy I see Treylon Burks being like coming into that mold. And honestly, he might have been my wide receiver 1 coming into the draft, not the best available. So that's a home run pick for the Saints right there. So I got number 20. And this is a guy I am very big on. Tyler Linderbaum, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And before I make any outrageous claims, I'm going to give us a little backstory on Linderbaum. He played defensive tackle as a freshman, meaning that his first time ever playing center was sophomore year, where he was the 5th highest rated center in the country, according to PFF. And then his junior year, he was the highest rated center in the country. And his senior year, which was last year, he was the highest rated player in the country by PFF. He has the fastest 3 cone of all time for a center. I think he's a generational talent. I think he's also without value. Obviously, quarterbacks are the most valuable. Wide receivers are very valuable. Center is not a very valuable position, but just for how good each guy is at their position, I think Tyler Linderbaum is the best player alone in this draft. And just because he's a center, obviously it knocks him down a little bit. But if we're just taking on talent alone, Tyler Linderbaum goes number 1 on my list. He's obviously his generational talent. I think he's the best center prospect of all time. And immediately, once he steps on the field for Pittsburgh, he will be a top 3 center in the NFL, alongside guys like Creed Humphrey and Jason Kelsey. And Steelers are definitely in need of an elite O-lineman. That's exactly who Linderbaum can be. For his comp, I mean, if anyone's really worthy of it, Jason Kelsey, I made it one comp. But other than that, I mean, I think he's going to be better in the long run than Kelsey. So I think Tyler Linderbaum is an incredible pick for Pittsburgh right here to replace Marquise Pouncey's absence. And number 21, to save you guys from my rant, we're going to be Patriots from Jake.
I'm taking George Karlaftis, the edge. He's a versatile hybrid to do almost anything. He played at least 49 snaps in all but 1 game this past season and finished with a 90.6 pass rushing grade. The Patriots grabbed the 10th best prospect on PFF's big board, and he joins Matthew Treylon as the Patriots form a double-edged sword.
Yeah, Karlaftis definitely had an incredible 2021 year. He just kind of got better as each year went on. Definitely like that for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Moving on to 22, we got the Packers by Andrew.
So I'm going to take Jayvon Dotson here from Penn State. I think, he's just an overall good wide receiver. I think it's going to help to really replace Devontae. I mean, there might be some concerns. He's not as physical as his peers, but he's got great hands. So I think putting him in that situation in Green Bay would definitely help.
Yeah, obviously the chances in real life with the Packers actually trying to help Aaron Rodgers get a receiver in the first round of winning. Then again, this is our draft and what we would do if we were the GM. So definitely, obviously, getting Rodgers help after Devontae Adams leaves for the Raiders is a great move. So moving on to 23, taking the Cardinals.
So I got the Cardinals taking, which I think is a big steal here, Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State. I would just like to add on, it's a very deep class for the edge. I mean, you got a lot of guys who could go in the first round. And then Johnson was the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt are aging, so the Cardinals are going to need an edge rusher there. He's great energy and great explosiveness, and in this spot, he's one of the best available players. So I think the Cardinals have a really good pick here.
Yeah, I can see the Cardinals even off the bat putting Jermaine at the edge and then moving J.J. to a more interior D-line role. So definitely could fit in that Cardinals defense. So I'm up next with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to have them taking the Kobe Dean, the linebacker of Georgia. The Cowboys have a few major needs across the defense, and I think this is one of them after losing guys like Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. So pairing the Kobe Dean with the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Michael Parsons, I think will be an incredible duo for Dallas to have. He's a very quick linebacker. He's flying across the field, got incredible change of direction for a guy his size. I think he has the best instincts when it comes to the run game for the linebackers in this class. And the guy I'm coming to is Devin Bush right now. So I think that would be an awesome pairing for Dallas. Number 25, around the Bills by Jake.
I'm taking Devontae Wyatt. The Bills need help on the interior defensive line. Devontae Wyatt is an explosive defensive tackle, and he's far more dominant pass rusher than his British counterpart, Jordan Davis. And the Bills can pair him with Von Miller, Shaq Lawson, and Gregor Sue, and form an absolute lethal defensive line.
Yeah, Devontae Wyatt is definitely an underrated guy in this class, but I'm all for Devontae Wyatt, and that's an absolute home run and steal right there for Buffalo. So number 26, Andrew, you got the Titans.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Tyler Smith from Tulsa. I think it's just an overall just a great pick, because it boosts the offensive line that's kind of aging, and given that they're probably going to keep Tannehill, they are going to need a really good protection for him. So
yeah, and for me personally, not to fancy your pick, but I think that's an overall questionable pick, but I'm not going to get too far into that. So we're just going to move on to pick 27 with the Bucks by Tank.
All right, so I got the Bucks taking guard Kenyan Green out of Texas A&M. So Bucks are in a win now again. I know they've won a Super Bowl, but it's probably Tom Brady's last year. You want to protect him. I think Green's one of the most NFL-ready guards in this draft class. Bucks can build up the line for the future, put him with Wirfs. You want to play Wirfs as tackle, but Green's a guard, same thing. But yeah, protect Brady in the future.
Yeah, definitely trying to protect Brady because I think he's a few hits away from breaking every bone in his body at 45 or however old he is. So Kenyan Green, I think, it would be an awesome fit for the Bucks. So I'm up next with the Packers at 28. And once again, don't see them doing this in real life because it would actually benefit their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. But I have them taking Bernard Raymond, the offensive tackle out of Central Michigan. I think he is the most polished. Just a quick note, that is not Bernard Raymond. That is Treylon Walker. Bernard Raymond is the offensive tackle out of Central Michigan. He's the most polished tackle, I believe, in this draft. Even though he's only played tackle for 2 years after serving for the Austrian Army in his freshman year. But he came right to Central Michigan and produced immediately. He actually used to play tight end in high school and his first couple of years in Central Michigan, which is why he's such a fast and blistering speed from offensive tackle. Also explaining why he has the fastest 20-yard shuttle time of all time at the offensive tackle position. He has a 98.7% athlete at the position, which is unheard of, which it's just incredible. And for the Packers, I know they have the duo of David Bakhtiari and Elgton Jenkins, but Elgton Jenkins has played a lot of guard in the past, and I see them moving Jenkins back to that right guard position in order to fit Bernard Raymond into the lineup. And for a comp, I have a slightly worse, but you could honestly hit the level that Lane Johnson is currently at with the Eagles. So moving on to Jake's final pick of the draft, here the Chiefs at 29.
I'm taking Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver from South Alabama. And some may say this is a reach, but it really isn't. The Chiefs just traded away Tyreek Hill, one of the biggest deep backs in the league. And Jalen Tolbert last year was top 5 in college in deep backs. He averaged 18 yards per catch and had 1,474 reception yards with 8 touchdowns. Not only does he not catch balls from the best quarterback in the league, but he gets to play alongside Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Nicole Hardman.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be fair to you, same way I was to Andrew. I'm definitely going to call that a questionable pick just because of the competition he's going against as South Alabama. But it's our opinion. I'm not going to go too far into it.
I just want to add on. What do you think about David Bell there? He's got the speed and plays better competition.
Yeah, David Bell definitely is a guy out of Purdue that I can see going there. But who knows? I mean, Tyreek Hill was a steal in the later rounds for the Chiefs, so maybe Jalen Tolbert is that guy too.
I feel like the competition, he also had nobody QB who not top 5 draft QB, like Garrett Wilson did, has to do Stroud. He also has not getting the best QB in the league, who has a cannon of an arm. So I feel like he's going to translate quite easily into the NFL.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. So we'll move on to the Chiefs' second straight pick of the draft. Andrew, you got the Chiefs once again.
All right, so I'm going to go with Louis Cine from Georgia. I think he's just a natural-born leader. He's big, physical. He's really fast too, and I think he's just really great insurance. Obviously, since everything's going on with Tyrann Mathieu to really replace him. He's also the defensive MVP in the national championship. So I think he can really handle those big games, and he's just an overall great pick.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, taking anyone from that Georgia defense in the first couple of rounds, I think it's a home run for anyone.
It's crazy to see how many it's crazy to see how many guys from Georgia can go in the first round this year.
Yeah, no, this is only a 1-round mock draft. I'm sure we'll see a lot more going in that second round. So we're going to move on to pick 31. Tank, we got the Bengals.
All right. So I got the Bengals picking cornerback Kyler Gordon out of Washington. So the Bengals, I mean, they just came back from the Super Bowl. What the one thing they need is a corner. Gordon has great athleticism, and he's really aggressive to the ball. And I think in this spot right here, Bengals need to take a corner. I think this guy is the right option.
Yeah, definitely bolstering the defense. They attacked the O-line in free agency this year, so I can definitely see them going at the defense. I think that's a pretty good pick there for the Bengals. And to round it off, I got the Lions at pick 32. I'm actually going to have them taking quarterback Sam Howell out of North Carolina. Now, I know Jared Goff had a off and on year, you could say, for Detroit last year, but I think Howell has the best deep ball in the draft. I think he also has a great pocket presence, and he's an underrated scrambler. He has great mobility for a guy at his size and stature. Arguably the best arm strength in the class alongside Malik Willis. And like I said before, he could battle with Jared Goff for that starting job, but I don't see any issue with him just sitting 1 year behind Goff while he's under his final year of his contract. For a quick comp, I have a less accurate Dak Prescott. I feel like that's what Howell could be. He'd be a solid top 15 quarterback in the NFL, which I think is a great job. So that's going to round it out for the St. Joe's 2022 mock draft. I'm Ben Chadwick, joined by Andrew, Jake, and Tank. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.